Subscribe right now. Press bell for political carnage. Trump's cabinet laughs at Jasmine mention body language revealed. Listen, I've been covering Washington for years, and I've never witnessed anything like what occurred in that Oval Office last week. Y'all, when I tell you the secondhand embarrassment was genuine, I mean, it was genuine. So there is Trump sitting at the Resolute desk doing his usual signing ceremony, right? Cabinet members flanking him like they always do. Standard Tuesday stuff. Then this reporter, bless her heart, decides to inquire about Jasmine Crockett. And I am telling you right now, the energy in that room shifted so fast, it gave me whiplash. Hit that like button if you are ready for this breakdown, because we're about to analyze every uncomfortable second. The moment, and I mean the exact moment that reporter stated Jasmine Crockett, Trump's face went through about 5 different emotions. First confusion, then recognition, then straight up irritation. But here is what has got the internet buzzing. His cabinet's reaction was somehow even more revealing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent attempted to hide it. But y'all, this man's poker face is weak. The camera caught him doing this weird half-smile thing that screamed, "Oh no, here we go again." JD Vance began shifting in his spot like he wanted to disappear into the wallpaper. And don't even get me started on the nervous glances they were throwing at each other. Drop a comment below. What did you observe in their faces? Because Twitter is going wild with the reactions. Now Trump immediately goes into his usual routine, cutting the reporter off before she can even finish her question. Jasmine Crockett, he states, like the name physically pains him to pronounce. Then comes that ridiculous Davy Crockett comparison he has been pushing for months. But here is where it gets juicy. His cabinet begins this forced laughter that sounds like someone's holding them at gunpoint. I've analyzed this clip frame by frame, and let me tell you, these are not genuine reactions. This is the kind of laughter you do when your boss tells a bad joke, and your paycheck depends on pretending it is funny. If you are enjoying this analysis, press that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're breaking down the political moments mainstream media misses. Scott Bessent's laugh. Pure performance art. The man's shoulders are tense. His eyes aren't crinkling like they would in a real laugh, and he keeps glancing around to observe if others are laughing too. Classic signs of social anxiety masquerading as amusement. JD Vance is doing this weird thing where he is attempting to look serious and amused at the same time. Body language experts call this emotional leakage, when your real feelings slip through despite your best efforts to hide them. The guy's practically squirming, and the timing. They all begin laughing at slightly different moments like they're not sure when they're supposed to laugh. That is not how genuine group laughter works, y'all. Real laughter is contagious and synchronized. This was clearly choreographed awkwardness. What is your take on forced political laughter? Share this with someone who needs to observe this analysis. Now Trump continues his rant about Crockett being low IQ, his go-to insult that he has been recycling for months. But watch his cabinet during this part. They've gone from forced laughter to stone-faced silence. Bessent actually looking down at his hands. Vance is staring at the ceiling. These men are uncomfortable. The psychological dynamics here are fascinating. These are powerful people who've built careers on reading rooms and managing optics, and they're clearly struggling with how to handle their bosses. Let's call it fixation on a freshman congresswoman from Texas. Press that like button if you think politicians should take acting classes, because this performance was rough. Social media immediately picked up on the awkwardness. Twitter users began making compilation videos of just the cabinet members' faces during Trump's Crockett rants. One viral tweet stated, "These are the faces of people laughing when they believe they're supposed to." Another pointed out Bessent's cringe face that is already becoming a meme. The contrast is stark when you compare this to how the same cabinet members react to other topics. When Trump discusses policy or makes legitimate points, their engagement looks natural. Their body language is relaxed. Their responses are genuine. But mention Jasmine Crockett. Instant tension. Let me know in the comments. Do you think they're embarrassed by Trump's obsession with Crockett? Because that is what this looks like to me. What makes this even more interesting is the context. This occurred just days after Crockett had absolutely demolished Trump's crime narrative during that explosive hearing with DC's Attorney General. She held up Trump's mugshot and stated, "If anybody needs to clean up DC, it is this man." Not only is he participating in the crime, but we know that he instigated the insurrection. That clip went mega viral, and clearly it got under Trump's skin. So when her name comes up again, his cabinet probably knew another meltdown was coming. The anticipatory cringe is written all over their faces. Hit that subscribe button if you want more. Behind the scenes political psychology. We read every single comment. The body language gets even more telling when Trump begins discussing about how Crockett doesn't know what she is talking about. Vance literally closes his eyes for a second like he is in physical pain. Bessent begins looking anywhere but at the cameras. These guys know this isn't a good look. And here is the kicker. When the reporter attempts to actually pose her question about Crockett's ICE comments, Trump's whole demeanor changes. He gets defensive, begins stumbling over his words, calls her a low IQ person who I can't even believe it. A congressperson. The mask slips completely. His cabinet during this meltdown. They're attempting to become invisible. Bessent's shoulders are practically up to his ears. Vance has this forced, neutral expression that screams, I wasn't here for this. It is painful to observe, honestly. Drop your thoughts below. Should cabinet members speak up when their boss is embarrassing himself? Or are they trapped by their positions? The internet had a field day with this footage. One TikTok creator made a whole video just zooming in on different cabinet members' faces with dramatic music. Another Twitter user created a bingo card of Trump's Crockett obsession, including forced cabinet laughter as one of the squares. But beyond the memes, this moment reveals something deeper about the Trump administration's internal dynamics. These aren't, yes, men who genuinely believe everything Trump states. These are political professionals who sometimes find themselves in uncomfortable positions, attempting to maintain their dignity while supporting a boss who, well, let's just say he has interesting priorities. The most viral moment was when someone slowed down Bessent's laugh and you can actually observe him glance at Vance. Like, are we really doing this again? It has become the new. This is fine meme for political situations. Share this video with anyone who needs to comprehend political body language and tell us, what was the most cringe moment for you? What is particularly fascinating is how this contrasts with how these same officials handle other controversial Trump moments. When he is discussing about policy disagreements or even making bold political statements, they maintain their composure. But there is something about the Jasmine Crockett fixation that clearly makes them uncomfortable. Maybe it is because they recognize that a sitting president being this obsessed with a sophomore congresswoman isn't a great look. Maybe they comprehend that Crockett's legal background and quick would make her a formidable opponent. Or maybe they just know that every time Trump goes down this rabbit hole, it generates negative headlines. Like this video. If you think Trump's cabinet needs media training because this was hard to observe, the timing of all this makes it even more awkward. This Oval Office moment occurred just as Crockett announced her Senate run-in. Texas, using Trump's own insults about her in her campaign video. She literally transformed his attacks into campaign fuel, and his cabinet knows it. When political operatives observe an opponent successfully weaponizing your boss's words against him, that is when you know you've got a problem. And you can observe that recognition dawning on their faces in real time. The forced nature of their support becomes even more obvious when you consider that Crockett has been consistently outmaneuvering Trump in the media game. Every time he attacks her, she comes back stronger. Every insult becomes a fundraising email. Every low IQ remark becomes another viral moment for her. Comment below. Do you think Crockett is living rent-free in Trump's head? Because his cabinet's reaction suggests they believe so. But here is what really got people discussing. After Trump's rant winds down, there is this moment of dead silence where nobody knows what to do. The cabinet members are all looking around at each other. The reporter is attempting to figure out if she can pose her actual question. And Trump is just sitting there like he accomplished something. That silence speaks volumes. These are experienced political operators who've been in countless high-pressure situations. And they're collectively struggling with how to handle their boss's public fixation on a congresswoman who clearly gets under his skin. The aftermath on social media was swift and brutal. Forced laughter started trending within hours. People were making side-by-side comparisons of genuine cabinet laughter versus this awkward performance. The consensus was clear. Nobody was buying what they were selling. Subscribe and press that notification bell if you want us to break down more viral political moments. We're just getting started. What makes this even more delicious is that it occurred during what was supposed to be a routine signing ceremony for some minor administrative order. Instead, it became a masterclass in uncomfortable political theater. all because someone dared to mention Jasmine Crockett's name. The ripple effects are still playing out. Late-night comedians had a field day with the footage. Saturday Night Live did an entire cold open based on the cabinet's reaction faces. And the memes, don't even get me started on the memes. Bessent's cringe face is already being used to react to everything from bad movies to awkward first dates. But beyond the entertainment value, this moment reveals the very real human cost of working in an administration, where you never know when your boss is going to have a public meltdown over his perceived enemies. These cabinet members signed up to implement policy, not to participate in personal vendettas against freshman congresspeople. Tell us in the comments, would you be able to keep a straight face in that situation? Because I sure couldn't. The lasting image from this whole episode isn't Trump's predictable meltdown. We've witnessed that before. It is his cabinet's collective discomfort with being forced to participate in it, in a city built on political theater. This was amateur hour, and everybody knew it. And that, my friends, is how a simple reporter's question about Jasmine Crockett exposed the fault lines within Trump's own inner circle. Sometimes the most telling moments aren't what people state. It is what their faces reveal when they believe nobody's watching. If this analysis opened your eyes to political body language, hit that like button and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of the moments that really matter. We'll be here breaking down the political theater that mainstream media misses, one uncomfortable laugh at a time. But wait, there is more to unpack from this train wreck. Because what occurred after the camera stopped rolling is even more telling. Sources inside the White House state the cabinet members were visibly relieved when that signing ceremony ended, like shoulders dropping, deep breath, kind of relieved. Apparently, Bessent was overheard asking an aide, "How many more of these do we have this week?" Y'all, this man is tired of pretending to find his boss's obsessions amusing. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had to fake laugh at your boss's bad jokes, because we've all been there, just not on national television. Comment below. What do you think makes Crockett so effective at getting under Trump's skin? Because I've got theories. The most telling moment in the whole cabinet reaction footage might be this tiny detail that most people missed when Trump begins his very low IQ spiel. Treasury Secretary Bessent actually winces. Not a big dramatic reaction, just a slight facial contraction like he smelled something unpleasant. Body language experts call this a micro-expression, an involuntary reaction that reveals genuine feelings before your conscious mind can control your face. Bessent's wince lasted maybe half a second, but it spoke volumes about what he really thinks of his boss's rhetoric. JD Vance had his own micro-moment too, when Trump stated Crockett shouldn't even be in Congress. Vance's eyebrows went up for just a split second in what psychologists call the brow flash of disbelief. Again, tiny reaction, but it reveals that even Trump's most loyal supporters know some of his attacks crossed the line. The broader implications of this cabinet discomfort are actually pretty significant for Trump's administration. When your own team is visibly uncomfortable with your behavior, it signals internal dysfunction that goes way beyond normal political disagreements. Like this video if you are fascinated by political psychology and share with someone who appreciates this level of analysis. Drop your thoughts below. Which cabinet member appeared the most uncomfortable to you? Because we want to know what you are observing in their faces. The truth here is clear. Trump's cabinet knows his Jasmine Crockett obsession is a problem. They're embarrassed by it, and they're tired of having to pretend otherwise. Their faces told that story better than any statement or leak ever could. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, share this video with everyone who needs to comprehend political body language, and subscribe for more analysis of the moments that reveal what is really happening in Washington. We'll be here reading between the lines and calling out the uncomfortable truth that mainstream media misses.